Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Amrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya
So I begin with a thank you to Alicia Mathewson for her beautiful gift of sound, for the way that she has activated such a greater level of love for me, in me, through her gifts of sound. So I am here. I have so much energy moving through me. My whole body is like, rah! And so it feels important to set a container or a parameter for the space that I am opening. It feels familiar. I've made lots of videos and shared them on YouTube, so it feels familiar to be looking into a camera and recording and not having anyone specifically watching me. And also I can feel the range, the capacity, the way that these videos are going to move out around the world. And so there's a higher intensity in my body, knowing the power of where these videos will reach. So it's a new feeling. It's interesting too, because the greatest fear anyone has when they open a new space is, what if nobody comes? What if there's nobody there? What if nobody shows up? And that was my fear, which I knew meant that probably would happen. And so I deliberately chose to not set anybody up or ask them to be there, or corral my friends or my family and say, you have to be in the space with me. I was very deliberate about not asking any of that. And so it is perfect that my beautiful friend Andrea, who has been with me from the beginning of this voyage I have taken on this spiritual path, that I see her sitting in my list of participants with her phone on mute. Just for a few minutes, I will come over and unmute her in a moment. It feels beautiful to have her holding space for me as I hold space for what is moving into our world at this time. And I am also this human, this person, this Viv, this woman who has a daughter who's on her way home from college, who I think is texting me to say she'll be here in 30 minutes. My daughter is on her way home. My son just played a song at the keyboard for me that he knows means a lot to me. My cat is running around. My husband's on his way home. There's still this real life, that is going on here in this home, here in this city, here in this body. There is this human experience that is happening at the same time as this incredible soul activation that is going on. And so it feels like today, this first call, this first video in this new space of soul stories. Soul stories. It's so fun to even say it. Soul stories is happening right here, right now. It is beginning, and I am beyond delighted. But it feels important as I begin this journey to claim what I feel is happening. There's so much to say. What I feel happening is this bridge between the way that we have, I feel like this is distracting me, so I'm going to move that out of the way. This bridge between like the world we've always known, which is very physical. You can touch it, you can see it, you can plan for it, prepare for it, control it. There's this real world with all of these things that we can schedule and organize and put into containers, and like the containers behind me, we can put it all in a box and then it'll all make sense. And that has been true for so long, and it's no longer true. It's no longer true. The world is it's vibrating differently, it is functioning differently. The realities we've all been experiencing, I can't even say the word, the realities that we've all been experiencing are shifting. Things are different. And I know this. I feel this for myself. I see this in my client sessions. I see this in my family and in the stories around me and the posts on Facebook. People are confused, are feeling that things are different, but they're not quite sure, like, why, what's happening, what's going on. And that is a place where I feel like I bridge the gap. I can help translate or decipher or make sense of the things that, don't quite seem real or logical or familiar in the way that we've known them. There was a movie that my daughter and I saw, I think it was just this past summer, maybe it was before that, called The Arrival, and it's about this woman who studies language, and she is called to the scene of a huge, big, egg-shaped spaceship that has come down to Earth, and no one can communicate with these extraterrestrials, and she's the only one. And she says to them, you can't just go charging in and tell everyone from this other dimension what you think things are, or what you think they're saying to you. You have to begin by becoming familiar with each other. You have to learn each other's languages, because your word for, I don't want to run the movie for you if you haven't seen it, you should see it. Your word for war might be their word for communication, or for tools, or for resources. And so when we have this bridge in the communication gap, we make assumptions. And when we make assumptions, well, then we make an ass out of you and me. At least that's what I was taught the word assume means. But we get in trouble. We start to get confused, and we believe things that aren't true to be true. So when I watched the movie, I cried. I had a hard time making it through the movie, and I kept saying to my daughter, like, this is more real than people understand. This story of other consciousness, other dimensions wanting to come to Earth to help us. I don't believe that people believe that. I see where the movie creates fear, and it shows us if we don't understand, we should be afraid of that thing because we don't understand it. And so from fear, we make rash decisions. We put deadlines on things. We want to try to control it so that it's not so scary. And in that space with fear, you create more fear and more fear and more fear, and it just expands and spreads. And so if you can see that fear is one response, you can also feel or see that love is another response. And so when we approach shifts in our planet, shifts in humanity, shifts in relationship, shifts in health, shifts in education, when we approach all of these shifts from a place of love instead of from a place of fear, we can sit back, we can listen, we can ask questions and hear the responses, feel the responses. I wrote in my blog last week, truth, when you hear someone speak their truth, even if you don't agree with them, even if you think their truth is crazy, right? Extraterrestrials, books to translate language with other dimensions, what? Yeah, when you hear someone speak their truth about that, though, you feel it. Depending on where your truth sits in your body, you could feel it here in your heart. You could feel it in your third eye. You could feel it in your gut, down low. You could feel it in your root, in your hips, where you would feel like strong and creative powers. Like, truth resonates, and so it's going to move through your body, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it. I describe in my book, sometimes when people hear truth, it feels like they got kicked in the gut, right? There's right? We've all had this, I'm sure, when someone tells you they don't want to be your friend, or they want to break up with you, or you hurt their feelings, and you feel that, like, oh, I did that thing. It's like, your whole body contracts around that punch in the gut. When we hold new babies, right? When you hold this precious life and you feel the truth that we don't understand how life is created. It's not science. science has tried to create life, and it works in beautiful ways, but there's still this spark. There's soul. There's love that enters into the science. That's what creates the baby. That's what allows the baby to go all the way to birth and come out into this human experience. It's something that is beyond scientific explanation. And so we feel that as truth. And so we cry. We cry our hearts. I mean, how many times have you heard someone say, my heart melts every time I look at that little child, or my heart melts when my grandbaby smiles at me. My heart melts when my son plays me music across the room here from my office, right? Like your heart melts because you feel the truth that is being communicated through sight, through sound, through the senses. There's this truth and you feel it. You feel it. So what I bring to this container that I am opening is my truth, and my truth in ways I have held back, in ways I have swallowed, as I just do that right now. Let me have a drink of water, right? Truth as in, there are ways that we try to protect or not hurt the feelings of the people that we love, or not embarrass them, or don't want to rock the boat, don't want to shake things up too much. And so for me, for much of my path, I've swallowed some of the truths that I know, like I know, and I've held them back because I'm not quite sure if I trust myself. I'm not quite sure if I trust the person receiving it. I'm not quite sure if the ripples or the waves that will come from that are too much for me to handle or others to handle. And so sometimes, often in the past, my truth has been like this little thing that I keep inside of me. I know it, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to upset anybody. And what I have been feeling in particular over the last 2 to 3 weeks, especially since the 11/11 portal, I have been feeling this sense of, I don't know, maybe it's destiny, or it's a great word, like the sense of arriving at this place, this inner place, this centered space inside of me that says it's time for all the truth to come out. It's time for all the things that you know to be shared. Not because I'm the one who has the answers for everything, but because when I can speak my truth and say it and own it and like love that it's coming out and people are hearing these things, then other people have this vibration, this permission to speak their truth. And my guess is we're all thinking a lot of the same thoughts that we might judge as crazy, right? We're all having the same ideas or beliefs, or, what the fuck? Like, what's happening on this planet? Like, what's going on, right? We're all having those feelings, and yet we aren't quite sure if it's okay to talk about it. And so this container of souls, I need to practice saying this, soul stories is a place where I bring everything forward. Like, we'll talk about whatever comes up, and if I don't know, I'll say it. And most times I usually have a pretty good idea of a reply or a perspective that brings clarity or brings information to the person I'm talking to. So we're just going to play, and we're going to see what happens. I am claiming this as a container that is founded on love, in love, through love, by love. So this is not a space where we're going to have arguments or big debates or get into ways where we belittle each other or make each other less than. This is a container where we bring our best selves. I said to my friend Alicia this morning, this is a place where I get to be as brilliant as I want to be, and in response, you show up as brilliant as you are. And in that place where we meet from brilliance, we can do anything. We can create solutions that heal our planet, that change humanity, that expand consciousness and love. beyond how amazing it already is right now. And in the middle of that, I'm human, so I'm going to drink my tea because, my throat is dry because I'm like, oh, there's so much to say. And my daughter's going to come home in a minute. And life is still going to be life. And we're going to have some galactic universal conversations. So with that, I'm going to see if my friend Andrea has anything she would like to say. And if she doesn't, it's totally okay because I have lots more to say, but we'll just try it. You are unmuted. Are you there?
Oh, there we go. How's that?
Hi.
Hi.
And you don't have to have a question if you don't want to. I just thought I'd give you the microphone since you are here with me playing.
I don't in particular have a question, but I do want to say something from a point of witnessing the shift in your vibration. You already vibrate at a higher level than probably anyone I know in the work that you do and the meditating and your dedication to that. But it has been since the 1111 portal at your home when you and Alicia offered that beautiful space for us to come for a gathering together. I have witnessed the freedom and the joy in your voice and your expressions and the pure just joy that you have. So if that is our goal, to be our pure, authentic selves, and that is the reward for doing so, it feels very important for us to really evaluate what we're willing to put forth of our personal knowing and our internal knowledge and experience and gifts. So many of us seem to know our gifts or have been told what our gifts are, and it's so easy to go through day-to-day life, not really realizing that we can still do our day-to-day life things, and we can be authentic and use our gifts and bring our healing forth. So you are setting the example and being our guide as always. So I just wanted to say that, and thank you.
Thank you. That's so fun. It was sweet. I actually had a beautiful message earlier from Alicia, again with like a compliment. She's like, I'm just going to tell you, and can you receive this? And I'm like, I'm getting better. I am getting so much better at receiving the love that comes back, not just, my computer's popping up, not just like sending it, because I've been really good at giving love, but now it's like, thank you. Thank you for saying that you see my joy. I love that you reflected that.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Any topic direction you think I should go in, or just start rambling?
I trust where you are leading, so I'm right here.
I love you. Thank you, my dear friend. All right, you're going on mute. Raise your hand if you want to say anything else. And I don't quite know how you raise your hand, but I'm sure we can figure it out. So
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you.
Yeah, so we're going to be playing in this space. All right, the thing that I was feeling this morning, there's just a lot, so I'm gonna just pick a couple of things and we'll do that. So the first thing that came up in my meditation, so I meditate every day for a long time, every day. And I used to feel bad about it. I used to feel like in a real world, in the real world with real jobs, like it's a little selfish to meditate as much as I do. And what I have realized over the last week and a half is that the process I have for my meditation, the time that I claim for myself to be still and to check in, that's where I'm finding my centeredness. That's where my ideas are coming from. The pulling in of my energy and doing it every day consistently, gathering my awareness and bringing it into my physical body. That process is what is keeping me in alignment with my highest purpose. It's the way that I keep calibrating myself to come back to center. So if all of that sounded like, huh, as you were listening, I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. In the past, because I was always going out, and trying to take care of everyone and love everyone and make sure everybody's needs were covered. And, I've always been very able to sense when someone is in lack or needing support or needing attention, like, the underdog, right? I'm always aware of who the underdog is. And so my default has always been to go to try to smooth and soothe and help that person who needs something from the world or from themselves, but I have seen it as they need something from me, and so I'm going to go fill that need in them. And when your habit is to go out and do that all the time, to go take care of all these different people and do all these things for everybody else, what happens is more of our awareness and our energy is outside of us, and so we get depleted. We feel empty or used up or drained, overwhelmed, exhausted, right? These are words that I hear a lot from clients. This feeling of no one's paying attention to me. I do all these things and they don't understand how much is on my plate, and then they ask me for more, and how am I ever supposed to get everything done that everyone needs from me? And the pace of life is so busy. How are we supposed to keep up with this world? There's this like urgency, this franticness, and when we're constantly sending our energy out and diluting ourselves to all these places and tasks and people, and we possess so many things, then we have to take care of all of our possessions. So you have to take care of your car and your bigger house, and and I know that it takes me a long time to vacuum my house, so I get it. Like the real world stuff, like I understand that it takes a lot out of us to do all of that. What I have found in my meditation practice is that when I pull my attention in, when I am still and I literally visualize, like I'm gathering up all the pieces of me, I'm pulling my attention back from all the people who I think can't survive without me, right? That's been my belief, like they'll never make it. If I don't do this thing for them, if I'm not paying attention to them, they're all going to die. It's all going to be bad. And so I need to be in their space taking care of them. And what I have found is by gathering up my energy, they actually do better. They do better. They find their own resources, their own strength. They rise up and start matching the vibration that I'm holding for them, the way that I see them. Because when you have all of your energy, your attention inside of you, inside of your body, go and just feel that for a moment. Like imagine you're making this core part of you a magnet, and then just increase the power of the magnet. So imagine it was just a little one at first, and then you make it like bigger, like we're going towards MRI magnet size, right? Like the power of the MRI machine with the magnet, you can hear the magnet clicking things towards it. So imagine as you are making that magnet the center of you, you start to feel all of your energy coming in. You start to feel this like, right? Like it gets tighter in your chest. It's like you're filling yourself up. And so you have a density inside of your body, not an emptiness anymore, a density, right? That is the feeling of your soul, your awareness being inside your body. And for many of us, myself for a long time, that's a very unfamiliar feeling. It's a little scary. The first time I do this with clients, they're usually like, oh, stop, go backwards. Like, this does not feel good to me. Right. And so they're uncomfortable with that knowing that they're actually a big deal. They're cool. They're powerful, right? I use this word on my meditation on Sunday. They're M-powerful, E-M, M-powerful. They gather their energy, you, me, we like gather our energy inside of our body, and then we get really solid. So why do we do that? When you're here, so feel that in your body, like when you're here and you're not in 100 other places, when you're right here looking at me in the camera, because I'm looking right at the video camera, right? So when you and I are looking at each other, and your energy's in your body and my energy's in my body, and you relax your muscles and you let yourself like just be right here, nowhere else. Like, be fully present right here. You notice how everything around you gets quieter. The chatter in your mind stops. Like, your awareness it's in your body. In your body. And when you can do this every day, even if it's for 1 minute, even if it's for 30 seconds, when you can do this every day and you just, you take a breath, you pause, you pause, you take a breath, you're just here in this present moment. When you start to make this a daily practice, it feels so good. It feels so calm that you start to want more. You start to want more of it. And this is what happened to me. So watch out. You could get addicted to meditation. You feel, like, I don't even know if I always have the word, like, you feel happy. You feel bubbly inside. You feel joy. You feel joy. And for many of us, you know, joy was this thing that we would feel when we got something we wanted, right? We feel joy on Christmas morning because we have presents. We feel joy when we drive our new car because we have a new car. We feel joy when we have a good meal until we have the meal hit our bellies and then we're stuffed. You know, joy has been because of an action or a possession. And so this idea that a deeper, a more lasting, a more powerful joy can be felt and created inside of us by not doing anything, by simply being here. Like, that's enough to blow people's minds. That's enough for people to go, what? What is she smoking? Like, what is going on? How is that even possible? Right? Many of us, and I've done this, right? Like, many of us, we drink to feel happy, or we drink to numb out, or I personally am not someone who loves pot. I've done work, but for many people, like, pot is a way to numb, to get a quick high, you know, to feel better for a little bit, and then, you know, maybe we're calmer after that. But the problem is, it's another one of those things that's outside of us, and so we have to keep going outside of us to feel that shift, or releasing, or calming, or quieting of the mind. It's like we have to go outside of ourselves to find that. And that's a loop that, you know, it requires something to be done in order for you to feel good. So it just keeps you going back for more. And then over time, you know, this is the story of people with addictions over time. Like, it takes more quantity or more frequency for us to find that place again and again and again, you know, or then we're adding in the guilt or the shame or the hiding, or the fights that come from, you know, the addictive behaviors. Like, we're adding all this other stuff on top of the addiction, and it just gets really intense and heavy. And so what I'm, I guess, offering in this first call is, like, try meditation. I mean, it's free. Well, I mean, you can pay for it, but there's lots of free ones, right? Like, you don't even need anything to meditate. You can literally just sit, just like I did. You can just sit here with this video and close your eyes and like go in, right? Go in means like close your eyes and like bring your awareness inside of you. You can do it anytime. What you will find, the more you practice it, the longer the calm will last. So the first few times you do it, maybe the first few weeks or first few months you do it, I don't think months, maybe days, maybe weeks. Like when you start meditating, you have the mind still going and you're like, it's not working. I knew it wouldn't work. I told them it wouldn't work. She's lying. Right? Like it's never going to work. And then what happens is like your brain starts to get used to the fact that you're going to be sitting there, whether it's chattering or not. And as you bring your awarenesses in, as you gather your energy, like the process becomes simpler and easier. And then pretty soon, like you're sitting here and, oh God, like it's been 5 minutes. You've been sitting here for 5 minutes and you didn't have a thought, or you had a thought and it went out the side and you forgot what the thought was anyway. Right? And so 5 minutes suddenly becomes 10 minutes, becomes 30. Until like me, I meditate on average about 2 hours every day. And there are times where in my meditation, I'm like, I should really just be doing the things that I'm seeing in the meditation. Like, why am I still doing this? And what I find is the more clear I am, like the last half hour of my meditation is usually me recording into my phone. And so I record my blog posts, I record my website page text, I sit with my phone after a meditation and I just put the information into the phone. And then I go transcribe it. This is how I wrote my book. I verbally just shared my soul, my wisdom in my phone. It looks like I'm throwing up, but it's beauty. It's beauty coming out of my mouth. It's not throw up. But I would just put it in my phone. And then I would take my phone. And when I was done with all the recordings, I just sat down and typed it all into the computer. And the book was written. There were very minor edits to be made. So much talking. This is the way of the new earth. This is the way of the new reality. It's the way of creating from a very feminine, empowered, gentle, precise way. And I believe this is the way that humanity is going to heal, is healing, is already healing. It's not from tons of forcing and effort and action and aggression and arguments. There's been such divisiveness this year, especially here in the United States, such divisiveness and anger and this polarization between the masculine, the feminine, between races, between religions, between political parties. This divisiveness, it's starting to end. It is going to go away. And those who hang on to the divisiveness, who refuse to find ways to come together, those people are going to be the ones that are going to keep suffering because they keep hanging on to the fear that they're wrong, the fear that someone else is wrong, the fear that they're right, the fear that bad things happen, that death is real. Whatever their fear is, when they hang on to the fear, the suffering stays. When you can choose, and it's a choice, when you can choose to just, right? Oh, that was a fear, and I don't need to be with that fear anymore. What I can do instead is pull my energy in, get centered, and come back to this place inside of me, which I know is true, which is from love. And so I'm going to speak from love. I'm going to act from love. I'm going to be kind to the people around me. I'm going to have acts of kindness. I'm going to listen instead of spewing more fear, right? I'm going to be still and quiet until I know my words are coming from this really pure place of truth, which is love. Then I'll speak, right? As we make that shift in humanity, It is going to be led by the feminine. And it is not the feminine who is on an agenda or has a righteousness that needs to be reconciled for all of the ways where we haven't been empowered before. That's over. That's over. The way that our planet is going to heal, the way that humanity is going to come together, and all of these races come together, all of these countries come together, all of the walls break down, that is going to come from gentle feminine leadership. And some of those feminine leaders are going to be males who absolutely are in touch with their femininity inside of them. Strong males, strong females who are gentle leaders, who lead from love and trust and unity. That's the direction we're going. So it's going to take a whole bunch of meditating, a whole bunch of stillness, and a whole bunch of joy, of trust, of certainty that this world is on its way to being an incredible place where we all thrive, where there's not less than anymore. There's this beautiful knowing of abundance. So many spiritual communities call this the new earth, right? The new earth. And there's just as many differences in how we believe that will unfold, how that will look, what we will experience, right? There are so many ways that everybody understands it. And in this moment, I think they're all up for discussion. They're all valid ways of co-creating it together. So what I bring to the discussion is my certainty that the new earth is already here, that we are already in this vibrational, energetic understanding or awareness that life is good and it's getting better. And that love is the foundation of this world, not fear. Love. Lots and lots of love. And that there are dimensional things happening that we are just beginning to understand. So that feels like enough for today. That feels like enough for today. So next week I will be back, and I invite you to come back and more to come join us. Bring your questions. Let's see what sort of discussions we start to have. Yeah, it's so good. Trying to think how I would like to end. So this will be the first of the series. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it with Gate Gate, which I did not have prepared. So we're going to do this together. So hold on one second. So the Asato Ma Prayer, just so you know, is an ancient prayer. I describe it in the introduction to the live call. So anytime you join the live call, when you exchange, it's $22 for the exchange, which is the number of mastery. When you go to my website and you exchange to be on here live, there's an email that is sent to you, and it gives you a description of the Asato Ma Prayer. It gives you the words for the chant. So every time that I open this space, it is going to be with the Asato Ma Prayer. I resonate with the words, the sounds, the chant. It is, oh my goodness, I wonder if I'm going to get it backwards. I believe it is from untruth into truth, from darkness into light, and from death into immortality. And that is the space I am holding. That is the bridge I am co-creating. That is the path I am walking all of us towards. And so we open each of these soul stories. We open each of them with that chant, that sacred prayer. And then we're going to close each of these with Gate Gate. And both of these songs are by my beloved, amazing friend, Alicia Mathewson, who you can look up and find on YouTube. Her sound is powerful. All Things Alicia is a powerful place, so you can check it out. So Gate Gate is it's a heart-opening mantra, and it is also ancient. You'll have to look it up. I'm going to let you look it up. So if you're interested, you can read more about it. It's Gate, 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 which is funny because one of my friends, Jenny, said to me, "Is it gate?" And I'm like, it does feel like a gate. It's like the gate to your heart going wide open. So as you chant the words, even as you listen to the chant, you'll feel the vibration of your hearts, like heart palpitations, this little like, more love, more love, more love. These are activations. The sacred sounds are intended to come through our voice and activate our consciousness, remind us that we've heard these sounds in other places, that we've chanted these sounds in other lifetimes, that the angels and guides and energies that stand around our planet during this shift are vibrating those sounds through us, or through us, through consciousness, through the atmosphere of the earth. Like, these are vibratory sounds that are coming into humanity. And so when we match these sounds, when we chant at the Asato Ma Prayer and we chant Gate Gate, we are co-creating with this expanded love that exists in every moment. So you're not just singing a song. I mean, you can sing it like you're just singing a song, or you could close your eyes, drop in, and feel the vibration of the chant, and then the joy, it just keeps coming, it keeps bubbling, and there's more and more and more. That is the new earth. That is the vibration that I am holding for all of us, and that I invite all of you to step into with me. We're all doing this. We're all doing this, and it's possible for everyone. So, Gate Gate, Gate Gate, here we go. All right, I'm going to share screen. Here we go. I'm going to turn the volume up just a little louder on this one, then we'll close. And thank you for being here today.
Gate, Gate, Para Gate, Para Samgate Boriswa. Gate, Gate, Para
So much love to you.